Good day, everyone. In the construction community, to be specific, thank you for making time to go through this session. We understand that the construction industry in particular is a very busy industry. So therefore, we're not going to delay in going through today's session. We really and truly hope that it's very informative and it can add value to your business, and it can also add value to your career as a cost estimator or as a quantity surveyor. So with that said, let's get right to it. So today we'll be discussing the current methods of pricing and associated challenges in the industry. We'll be looking at what it takes to win in the construction industry, specifically when it comes to winning bids. We'll be looking at a live demonstration of how you can make sure that you also have a method of getting rates faster and more reliably so that you can win bids. And we'll be looking at answering all the submitted questions from our attendees, and then quick points regarding the upcoming physical workshop, what to expect, what will be up for grabs, and most importantly, what you're going to go away with insofar as the knowledge and the tools are concerned. Then the last part is our gift to you, which is the free trial version of the software, but only for PCs, laptops, and tablets. So that said, let's look at the first line up. Generally, when it comes to pricing BOQs in our industry, we've got two broad categories. One, we can either use in-house cost estimators, or two, we can use external cost estimators. And when we say cost estimators in this context, we are grouping both quantity surveyors and engineering estimators. We call them estimators. So here are the methods that are used in the industry. One, we price using previous rates. Two, we price by calling suppliers and getting quotations. Three, we price by guessing the rates, although this seems shocking, but we know in reality it's true because we're often under pressure. Four, we price using spreadsheets or other software where we store our rates. But the problem is with that, obviously, we'll have to manually update the rates. And then the last one, we price using experience, or we build up the rates from first principles. And although the last method is a preferred method, it has its shortcomings in that if you can imagine you're pricing a tender and it has 10 pages, 50 pages, 100 pages, and even sometimes 300 pages, and each page contains 50 rates, you cannot afford to be building each rate up for first principles. It means that you cannot submit any tender. So let's look at the challenges that are associated with these methods. The first challenge is that we get delays from suppliers. The delays are mainly caused by two reasons. Firstly, the supplier wants to get you into their database, so they want the tender advert, else, so that they can put you in their pipeline so that whoever wins the tender, they get to supply them. Number two, sometimes they actually advertise as though they are selling X, Y, and Z, but in truth, they're actually selling X, and Y and Z they have to call other suppliers to give them the rate so that they can add their own markup and then price your particular line item. So with that said, that presents a lot of delay on us and obviously makes us uncompetitive. The second challenge is that we can't price specialist rates. This simply because when we study academically and when we go to practice, you realize that we study, let's say, civil engineering, for example. So you study civil engineering, you practice on roads or civil works. So when you're pricing, you're most likely to be strong on roads and civil works, but to be weak when it comes to general buildings, mechanical, and other trades. In a similar manner, if you look at number three, quantity surveyors academically are trained in general buildings. So when it comes to civil works, road works, and other specialist trades, they become challenging. Yet, all of our tenders in different ways and in different forms require that we have knowledge of all the disciplines. So this is the challenge that we often face, and obviously it has serious consequences. Number four, we don't know what factors we considered when external estimators were pricing our BOQs. Now, when we talk factors, we're talking about what are the overheads that they considered, what are the profit margins that they considered when they were actually doing our estimation. Now, this is a very serious one because when we outsource pricing, what we are saying is that we are relying on an estimator who's external to determine how we run our company. So far, who gets hired permanently, who doesn't get hired permanently, what our fixed costs are, and what our variable costs are. And obviously, that's not a way to run a business because very quickly you'll realize that when you do win that tender, the problem that you're often going to encounter is that the rates that were supplied in some instances are too low and we lose money. The other one, number five, is that we underprice because obviously sometimes we guess, sometimes we don't know the price. And lastly, we overprice. So we are not even considered for evaluation because we are too expensive. So, with those challenges, what are the consequences? And I'm sure most of us can relate to the following. One, we don't submit tenders in time because obviously we can't complete BOQ pricing in time. Number two, we don't submit at all or we cancel the bid because we're not submitting BOQs from our external cost estimators or we receive them last minute and there's no time to populate the BOQ for us to compile the tender. Number three, we lose money in projects that we win because we've underpriced on certain line items. I'm sure that most of us have experienced this in small scales, in medium scales, and sometimes in large scales, where sometimes a project is abandoned because we realize that we're not making money anymore in these projects. Therefore, you forfeit it halfway through it. It's a very bad one for our reputation as a company. It kills the team morale and it certainly puts a very, very bad stain in your business and how you attend future tenders. Number four, you lose projects because you've overpriced, so which means that you're not even considered for the race. So these are the current methods and these are the current challenges that we face in the construction industry, both as cost estimators as well as construction companies at large. So that said, why don't we look at winning companies to understand what practices can we borrow from them and apply them in our small ways to make sure that we also position ourselves to win because that's the reason why we are here. So the best companies have the following. One, they submit tenders as often as possible. So say 5 to 10 tenders a month to increase your chances of submission. Two, they have a tender pricing team or a department looking at tenders. Number three, they have an in-house cost estimating team ensuring that the tenders are priced in time, the tenders are reliable in terms of the rates that are supplied. Number four, they've got specialist estimators to make sure that electrical, mechanical, structural, or any other specialist rates are there and are priced in time and accurately. Number five, they've got good relationships with suppliers, manufacturers, and plant hire. Of course, this is important for you to get the latest rates in the market. And number two, and suppose most importantly, for you to get those discounts which you can use to customize your rates so that you become competitive in the market. Because we know construction is a highly competitive industry. And number six, they continuously update their rates to keep up with the market needs and the market trends. So now these are the top qualities of winning companies. So the question is, how can we start the in our own companies and careers? Of course, we know that some of these are virtually impossible to achieve because we've got certain constraints. Number one, we are small businesses. You are, let's say, an upcoming QS or you are experienced QS, but you don't have other disciplines, knowledge, and skills. So that's almost impossible to achieve. So you cannot price, let's say, 20, 30, 40 tenders a month because you're a small team. So all of these constraints now work against us in trying to have the qualities that the winning companies possess. So then I think the question would be, if these are the qualities that are required to win in this competitive and capital intensive industry, And our challenges are the ones that are here. There's a huge gap. How do we close that gap? Our take as the PRM is that you need a tool that can actually close that gap without breaking your bank balance and at the same time without taking too much of your time insofar as acquiring the knowledge and skill required. So, with that said, we're going to switch over to the live demonstration and see what we are talking about. I'm going to stop presenting here. Then I'm going to now share my screen shortly. This is the PRM website. You can see it's got home, it's got login, explainer video packages, and free sign up. Let's go to login. So from there, this is my password and this is my username. I can use this one and log in. So before we log in, let me just log out quickly so that I can read something. Note, the software can only be used on laptop, PCs, or tablets. It means that even though you have a smartphone, which is good, it cannot be used in this system, and we will show you the reasons shortly. The screen is too small for you to actually see everything. So this is the system, and these are the following options that you can use to find your rates quickly and reliably. So welcome to the construction pricing system, the software that helps contractors with pricing competitively and profitably. You've got 4 methods to price. You've got quick search, find up to 10 rates at a time, master sheet, rates for all construction categories, tender, which is import Excel BOQ, RFQ, which is build your own BOQ. For the sake of this demonstration, we'll stick to number 1, 2, and 3. That said, let's click on quick search. Quick search, first thing we do is we select our region. So say, for example, I'll select Namibia, then I'll click on search the rate. It will ask me to select the service category first. This is number 1. So as you can see, we've got general buildings, roadworks, water, sewer, stormwater, electrical, sewer, electrical building, temporary road markings, traffic, accommodation. So I go for general buildings. And then from there, it will ask me to select my trade under general buildings. Let's say, for example, I go for earthworks. Once earthworks is there, it displays all the rates that are under earthworks, depending on the line items that I am interested in. So depending on what I have in front of me, I can simply search and find any rate. And I can simply, if you can see, this is a blank or dimmed dash. As soon as I start clicking and selecting the items, it lights up. So I can select the items that are obviously required for my bill. This is the description as per my bill, unit as per my bill, then I take the base rate. Then I click on save and complete. You can see my description is here, my unit is here, my base rate is here. For the sake of understanding, the base rate is the resources that are put together to achieve this activity. So it can be plant, it can be material, it can be transport, labor, as well as your just at minimum supervision. There are no profit margins, there are no discounts, and most importantly, there are no company overheads. You add that yourself. So how do you do that? You go to adjustments. Over here, you can add a discount if you want. In my case, I'll add 0. Then here, profit margins, anything between 15 to 30, I'll say 15. Company overheads. Company overheads are obviously your running costs as a company, not your office, site office overheads, because that is paid for under P's and G's. These overheads would be your tender admin team, your main office's rental, the main office's telephone lines, salaries of all your support staff that are not directly working on projects. You pay them over here. So I'll say 10%, and it varies obviously from company to company. That is why it is important that you price your own bill. You don't outsource it because that's a huge risk. as you can see here. You apply your adjustment and you can see you've got your base rate here, 38.5, then you've got your final rate here, just like that. So I can say clear all and I can go back to search the rate. So if I like, I can then go to Free State, search the rate, then I can go to roads. In roads, I've got obviously all my trades as per Colto or Koto standard. And then based on what I'm looking for, just hang on. I can go to drains depending on what my tender is requesting, and I can select the ones that are relative to me. Then I press save and complete. From there, I've got my base rates. You know, I'm not done until I add my adjustments. So here I'm going to put 5% for my discount. I'm going to put 8% for my profit margin, and I'm going to put 10% for my overhead. Again, this depends on my company, the relationship that I have with my individual suppliers for my discounts, my profit margin, how well do I know my client, and what's my company policy. Overheads, obviously, what are the main office overheads, the ones that are not related or directly working on the project, but are supporting the project. Then I apply my adjustment. And there you go. You've got your base rates over there. Then you've got your final rates over there. So you can use the final rates now to price your individual BOQ so that you can submit in time and hopefully submit as frequent as possible to increase your chances of winning the rates. So that said, that's the first method in which we can get rates from the system. Now let's look at the second method quickly. The second method is interesting in that it's called master sheet pricing. So over here, it will ask you to either add new bid, go to active bids, or completed bid. We're going to add a new bid. We are pricing a school in Mpumalanga. So I'll call it Dr. J.S. Moroka Senior Secondary School, upgrade. Ref number, I'm going to say SCM001. This is IDT for us that usually price for schools. When was it advertised? On the 7th of July. When is it closing? On the 28th of July. Client name is IDT Mpumalanga. Right? Obviously, the region will be Mpumalanga. And automatically, once you select the region, the system will only give you rates for that particular region so that you don't make a mistake. So with that said, it will put your record over here, and every time now you create rates and everything else, it will save your record over here so that when you get appointed in the next, let's say 3-4 months down the line, you can always come back and get all your BOQs in one area. Over here, it says Dr. J.S. Moroka, Senior Secondary School upgrades. It's a safe category, nothing. Trade category is nothing. Nothing is saved yet. I just add the rates. Trades. So I know I'm pricing general buildings. So I'm going to start. Let's say demolition. All my trades for demolition are here. I simply press adjustment. I'm going to say 0 here. I'm going to say 10. Then I'm going to say 12. Then I apply and save. Then it's saved over there. I add another one. After demolition, I'll go to alterations. Then I apply my adjustment. I'm going to say 5 there. I'm going to say 10 here. And there it gives us a warning. The profit margin for the same tender or the bid cannot be entered for different trade categories. What does this mean? It simply means that in practice, in business, you cannot have the same profit margin in all different trades. If I am doing a school and I know as a company I'm good in carpentry, I'm good in concrete, and I'm good in civil works, and I know that I'm going to outsource electrical works and I'm going to outsource mechanical and fireworks, the profit margins for electrical and mechanical cannot be the same as the ones that I'm doing internally. Therefore, what am I going to do? For the ones that I'm doing externally, for example, I'm going to have higher profit margins so that the money can come into the company. And for the ones that I'm good at, I'm going to do in house, I'm going to keep it relatively low so that I become competitive. So, on one hand, I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose a lot of money because I'm outsourcing the service. And then on the other hand, I know that everything is still in house. Therefore, I'm already paying the salaries for everyone, so therefore I can actually go low so that I can remain competitive. It's all about achieving that balance when it comes to allocating your markups. So the system forces you to think in that particular manner so that you are strategic and tactical in how you allocate your margins. So that said, I'll say, okay, I'm not going to use 10%, so therefore I can use, let's say, 7.5%. Then it allows me to do that. Here, my profit, my overheads will remain 10%. Then it says yes, it's accept, and then I press save. Once that is done, I can add more. Now, as you can see, I'm adding more. As I'm adding more, I will go to adjustments. Then I go, let's say, 12%. Then I go 10% still. Then there you go. All my rates in this database have have been adjusted. So I can add all my trades as far as much as possible. We know that typically a school or general buildings has like 20 trades or 18 trades. I can add all 18 here. And then when I'm done, I can just go to preview. And then from preview, I can just click export to PDF. And then from there, when I open my PDF, as you can see, I've got my service category, general buildings. Trade category is alterations. Trade subsection, alterating openings. And then my description is here, unit is here, and then my final rate, which I have customized as my company internally, is here. This is applicable across the board. So I can print this entire sheet out and start pricing my BOQ depending on what items are relevant to that particular BOQ. And when I'm done with this, let's say I've added 3 trades now, I can actually log out for the day, for example. Log out for the day because I'm pricing 3 trades or 5 trades per day. I can come back the next day. So instead of now going to add new, I just go to active because it's already in the system. Instead of start pricing, I just go to resume pricing. And as you can see, my trades are there. I can now start adding more trades because I'm not done pricing yet. I was just pricing one at a time. So this one is for concrete. So I'll add, let's say 5% here, then I'll add 10% here, then I apply, then I say save. Then I'll add more. Maybe let's go to masonry now. So as you can see, what the system ensures is that all your trades, you see, again, I wanted to cheat by putting 10%. It says, no, you can't do that. Let's try something else. Let's say 6, it works. 10, it's fine. Then I apply my adjusted and I save. So as you can see, it's adding up. So I can simply go to preview. Then I go to export. Then from there, you can clearly see that now instead of 14 sheets, I've got 31 sheets because more and more trades are added on the system. And obviously, I can print this and start pricing my individual BOQ. I'm not calling any suppliers. I'm not calling any external cost estimators because all the specialist trades are here. I'm not calling anyone. It's just me, my computer, and the BOQ and a pen. And I'm just running the numbers to make sure that I price as fast as possible, as accurately as possible, because I know the system is continuously updated by professional QSs across all regions and across most countries, specifically in the SADC region. So with that said, let's go to the last method for the day. So now I want to import and price everything automatically with my Excel sheet. So I add a new bid. This bid, I'll call it, I want to price for Eastern Cape. So I'll say Mutata SOA upgrade. Now I want to cater for the building, for the civil guys. SCM 00234. Over here, it was advertised on the 12th, and it's closing, let's say, sometime in August 11. Then OR Tambo District. That's the client. Estimator, I can say it's London. London, and then London is not East London. London is the name of a person, by the way. Then region is Eastern Cape. Service category is sewer services. I click on submit. Once I click on submit, it shows me that all my tenders are here. I go to start pricing. Then from there, it will ask me to upload a BOQ. So wherever I've saved it in the system, I'll just click on it and save it. And then there it is, sewer BOQ upgrade. I press upload. Once that is done, I just click next. You can see site clearance, earthworks, sewer, pipes, manholes, chambers, and bedding. From then on, you can see this is site clearance. Click on next. From there, it just asks me to match my column with my system column. So activity with description, unit with unit, quantity with quantity, rate with rate, amount with amount. Once that is done, what I'm simply telling the system is that whenever you see this heading, that heading, that heading, that heading, that heading, that heading, recognize it as this particular heading and take the contents and treat them accordingly. Press next. Sure, I say yes. It takes all the content of my Excel sheet and places it in the system. And before I actually go to the system, I would like to take time quickly to switch over and show you how my Excel sheet looks like. Can I just stop presenting here? And then what I'll do is I'll go and present my Excel sheet so that you can see how it looks like. So this is my Excel sheet. You can see I've got my trenching here. I've got my pipe laying here. I've got my manholes here. Then I've got my bedding over here, right? Everything is in Excel, just like I received from my client. I format it a bit so that it speaks to the system. So once that is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go back to the system. Right, back to the system. Once you're done with this preview and you're happy with what the system has imported, because we see whatever we have in Excel is now in the system, we go to tender pricing, which is number 2. So remember, we want the quickest way to price because we don't have time. We do what we call auto match. So the system just searches your rate descriptions together with the unit, and then it tells you that we have all of that in the database. This is your BOQ, strips 2 meter wide, your unit is meter. Your system has stripped meter wide, your unit is meter, and therefore here's your base rate. So once you check everything and it matches, you just click on accept, and then automatically it has priced everything for you. And it has calculated the amount for you. And then you see that the total is 0. Once you click on save changes, and it gives you the total here. So you avoid arithmetic errors. You go to the second one, you just click on auto match. It clears the previous search, it enters the new search. And then from there, it actually gives you everything that matches. Remember to double check unit and unit, rate and rate description so that everything checks out. I click here and I accept. Once I accept, everything is here. Then I press save changes and I move. Sewer pipes, I click on auto match. It clears the previous search, gives you my new search. And then I can see something is wrong here. 160 millimeter diameter and my unit is meter. Here, it's not saying 160 millimeter diameter. So I don't trust this. Also, I don't trust this. Look, 1 millimeter diameter and my unit is meter. Here is 1 millimeter by 1 meter and the unit is number. No, this is not right. So you can see I can deselect and accept the other ones. Now what happens in this case, I'm looking for UPVC class 34, 1 millimeter diameter. I just click on search the rate. I know that I'm pricing for sewer. I know that I'm looking for sewer pipes. Then I know that it's your PVC class 34. Then the first one is 110. Pa, I have it over there. I'm looking for 160 now. I click on it. I go for sewer. I go for sewer pipes. I go for PVC 160. Pa, I have it over there. Once I'm done, I save changes. Good. Then I move on. So these are the quick inspections that you must do to make sure that whatever is picked up by the system conforms to your unit so that at least you can accept the rate. And if you don't, you can deselect the rate and search for it manually. So let's automate over here. So this one, I am happy. Everything checks out, number, description. So therefore I click all and accept rates and then save changes. It calculates my total. Do the same thing here. Automate, clears previous search, brings new search. You can see description, unit, therefore I accept the rates. Right. So you do those quick inspections to make sure that you don't make a mistake. Once that is done, you can see I've priced everything in less than 5 minutes. So therefore, I've got site clearance here. This is my total. Pipe work, this is my total. This is trenches, bedding, manhole chambers, sewer pipes, total. But I've got something wrong here. I have not adjusted. So I apply my markups here. I'm going to say 10. I'm going to say 15. And there you go. And then just hit refresh and it updates. I'll go to the next one. I'll go to adjustment. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say 10. Then I apply. Then I refresh. Then I go to the next one. Then I go, sorry, not automate. I go to adjustment. I go 8. I go 12. And I say apply. And I refresh. I go to the next one. Adjustment. I go 7. I go 10. I adjust. Then I refresh. You can see when I click refresh, it updates my rates, it updates my amount because it multiplies my new rate with my new amount. Then adjustment again. Then it's 8. Then it's 10. Then I refresh. Then it's updated. Now, if you go back here, you click on refresh, you can now see here are your unadjusted rates, and here are your adjusted rates. You can see 279, 313, 284, 302, 123, 135, 204, 221, 1.3, 1.4, total of 2.1, 2.4. So you can see I've priced everything, I've adjusted everything, and most importantly, I have made sure that all my rates are applied, all my adjustments are applied, and I'm 100%. Then from there, I can now export my DOQ to PDF, and I'm ready to price. So in less than 10 minutes, I have priced my sewer, and I'm ready to just do a summation, add my VAT, add my CPA, add my contingencies. If it's applicable, then I give my final offer to client, just like that. So this allows me to price faster, price reliably, and obviously make sure that I don't call suppliers and wait for anyone to get what I want. So with that said, I think this brings us to the last part of the presentation, wherein now we switch over and answer key questions from our audience. So I'm going to stop presenting here. Then I'm going to go back to the PDF document. And I'm going to just go over some of the questions from our audience. So first question, does the system update the rates? Yes, the system rates are updated continuously, and you always receive notifications when the rates are updated, and it will tell you which service category is updated and which rates are updated. So you'll always have that. And when you log into the system, it will also give you that notification. Second question was, does the system have a rate breakdown, e.g. labor, material, plant? Yes, of course. If you are a standard or a premium subscriber, you can get access to that breakdown by requesting it from our cost estimators. They will give you what we call a rate breakdown report. And secondly, you can actually go to our resource library where you have our labor rates there, our material rates, and our plant for each province and each region, together with the supplier of each of those rates, three of them for each trade, each province, and each region. So you have all access to all of that information if you are a standard subscriber or a premium subscriber. Number three, does the system do multi-year prices? Yes, the system does multi-year pricing. All you have to do is just present the case to us as our cost estimators would look at it and will say if it's a 3-year pricing, they would look at the future projections, looking at the current industry, and it will give you percentage adjustments where you will do the current year using obviously the rates on the system, but year 2 and year 3 will give you a growth factor to apply to your BOQ so that you can factor for the future years. Number 4, does the system have rates for Botswana? We are working on the rates for Botswana. We are hoping that by September, October, the rates are available. So when you log in, you'll be sorted. So September, October this year, definitely. Number 5, can the system be used in tablets? Yes, of course, the system can be used in tablets. And obviously, we tried to make sure that people who are not very comfortable with computers or laptops, because we're in the construction industry, we are usually outside, we are hands-on, we are not computer guys, some of us. So tablets are much more user-friendly than laptops or PCs. So therefore, the system, yes, can cater for tablets. But if you're comfortable with PCs, then the PC is the thing for you. Number 6, how does the system cover P's and G's? Very important. In terms of the production rates, the system has all the production rates, but for P's and G's, because they vary from project to project, instead of giving you a database for that, we give you pricing guidelines with worked out examples as well, so that at least you can follow the practice. That is found in our resource library for standard as well as premium subscribers. Number 7, how does the system have specialist or does the system have specialist trades? Yes, the system has specialist trades. Electricals are there, mechanicals are there, and any specialist trade that you can request. If we do not have it in the system, you can drop us a request. And what we do is we team up with that specialist service provider, which is a reputable company, and we collectively develop the trades for that specialist trade. We're updating the system, and then once you're updating the system, you'll receive an email from us, and when you log in, you'll realize that the trades are there. And we do this in a very short space of time to make sure that we don't get compromised when it comes to submitting your tender, because we know how sensitive that is. Number 8, how do I purchase the system? This was a very frequent question from our audiences, and we gave you a 6-step process, which is relatively simple. Our website, which is www.theprm.co.za, and sign up to the free trial. You fill it up, everything, and you'll receive an email notification asking you to click here to finish your sign up, and automatically you'll get a free trial account. Inside the free trial account, sorry, tongue twister, free trial account, you'll go to upgrade or renew package. Inside the upgrade and renew package, you'll select the package that is based on your company bidding needs and obviously your company where it wants to bid. For example, the standard package, you can only bid in one province, and it's limited to, I think, 2 service categories. The premium, you can bid in, you have access to all the rates for all regions, including Namibia, and you've got access to all service categories. So depending on your company needs, you'll decide what works for you. You can then, from the package on the system itself, you can just proceed to make an online payment. You enter your payment details, the usual, and then you complete the payment. Number 5, and you'll be automatically returned to the package that you've purchased within 10 seconds, I think. Once that is done, you'll start using the system. So keep in mind, you sign up for the free trial. Once you get into the free trial, you can start with quick search just for you to be comfortable with quick search. And when you're done, we can actually go to upgrade or renew package. Then you select the upgraded version that you want. You make your online payment and automatically you'll be redirected to the package that you've paid for. And you can start searching using different methods that we've actually shown. So I know that I didn't show the RFQ because we don't have time, but as part of our onboarding, you'll be trained in all different methods. So you don't have anything to worry about. So those are the frequently asked questions. That said, let's go to the upcoming workshop. What to expect. So a couple of things. One, pricing of preliminary and general items for all works. So our cost estimators will be dealing this thing in thorough detail. Number two, pricing for general buildings in detail as well, both using first principles and using the software. Number three, pricing for civil works using first principles, industry experience, as well as the software. Pricing for electrical works, first principles, scientific methods, academic methods, as well as the software to make you move faster. Then if you're not satisfied with one, two, three, four, we also have one-on-one sessions with our senior QSs and expert cost estimators for you to ask a specific question that will be burning you at that moment in time so that you can be satisfied with all the outputs or the outcomes of the workshop. The last one, you'll get rate build-up methods using scientific methods as well. So that is what to expect from the workshop. Also, obviously, I was told to let you know that yes, the tablets will be provided for standard package as well as premium packages. And if you cannot reach the physical workshop, say you are in a different province and logistically it's far from you, we will make sure that we courier your package so that you can get access to your tablet and you can start pricing. And while you're waiting for your tablet, because you have your login details, you can get any PC or any tablet or any laptop to price. Last one on this one, the workshop has been moved from the 28th of July to the 25th of August to accommodate people who still need to arrange for traveling, people who will need to budget in time, and most importantly, other people that are waiting for their invoices to be paid so that they can sign up. So, just so you know, when you purchase any package here, standard package, premium package, automatically you'll qualify to attend the workshop in addition to receiving your tablet. That said, for the free trial, please visit our website, www.theprm.co.za. Go to free trial, sign up, and start playing around with the system. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And we wish you all the best in your tender pricing ventures. We wish you all the best in winning bids and most importantly, making a lot of money because that's why you opened your businesses. And to the QSs that are working in companies where bid a lot, we wish you all the best in your career and we're hoping that this tool can help you price faster and gain the recognition that you deserve as a good cost estimator in your companies. That said, thank you very much. It's been good and I'll hopefully see most of you in the workshop. Cheers.